All right, so right before I get into doing the actual little sigil on the candle that I'm about to do, I just wanted to go over the stacking of the magic and the forgetting and all that again, why that's important. God, I look like hell today. Why that's important and how well it plays in. I just got 3 more bingo tickets with my $9 ticket. Don't worry, I won't show you guys and brag about it, but who knows, that fucking $300 I just put on that candle could be right in here, baby. But anyways, so when I do a candle a day for the days of the week, and I am continuously doing something. If I'm trying to banish an addiction, a habit that I don't want, and then invoke a new habit, I do that every single day with every single one of the planets. Because every one of those planets is an energy in my body, and every one of those energies in my body represent an element. And I want that habit out of my thoughts. I want that habit out of my passions, my desires. I want that habit out of my emotions. I want that habit out of my physical entity. I want that out of my spiritual mind. I want it out of every part of me. So I do that every day of the week. Now I've been doing this way, it's gotta be about a year now. I've been doing a candle a day. Probably more. It's gotta be close to 2 years now. Now there have been times, and this is why I'm doing the Magic on the Budget series, where I had no candles, and sometimes I had no money for candles, especially in the beginning, and I had to get creative, and this is why I did this. I would do sigils, but every single day I would do something to something, honoring it. And not every single time was I doing a candle just to ask for something and have something done. But when I didn't need something in the material, which most of the time isn't, there's not too often I ask for something material. Most of the time I'm trying to change something within my body, because I know when I change within me, happens outwardly. So if I want my kids' attitudes to change, well, I need to change my outlook on them, and to ask for some understanding and try to help and give me some wisdom that will help me teach them a better way, and if they're right and I'm wrong, to show me that and stuff like that. So I work on self-transformation probably more than anything. But what I'm trying to say is here, it's kind of like when you start a job. When you start a job and you don't get, nowadays it's pretty good. You can start 1 week and still get paid at the right time in the pay periods. But when I first started working, they always held you back. You had to make up enough money. And this is how this works. With Spreaker, when I started doing my podcast, same thing. When you reach $10 with the ad revenue, that's when the first time you got paid. Well, I was doing the 15-minute ones for free for the longest time, but you don't get any ad revenue there. Then when you buy the first package, I think for the 45 minutes, you start making ad revenue. Well, I think it took me fucking 3 or 4 months until I got my first $10 check, which at that time, American was worth more. It was worth more than Canadian. Actually, the whole time up until last month, American's been worth more than Canadian. Now, $1 American is worth $1.30 Canadian. So now I'm getting less because I think right now I have $20 in limbo that hasn't been paid to me yet. It's been paid at the end of this month, and then I already have another $20 in there. So as soon as they take that payment, I have another payment. What I'm trying to say is, it took me a while to build up for me to get money every month to pay for the service, right? Whereas now there's enough ad revenue there built up. But it took me, I don't know, another 6 months after that first initial 3 months to actually have back-to-back payments happen, and now with a consistent frequency. But it happens, and it's kind of like that with your magic. So once you get on board, if you're the type of person who's trying to manifest something and then you just stop, okay, that's cool. But if you do a candle every day to honor the planets, and even if you're just giving them a candle and saying, I'm grateful for the wisdom you give me, well, you're still affirming something happened, and you're still going to manifest yourself receiving wisdom at some point that you never knew before. Maybe that's where a lot of my thoughts come from, because I'm always doing that. And when I'm not trying to do something specific, I'm always saying at least something like that, thanking whatever God of the week it is for what they've done for me, either physically, healthy, financially, mentally, whatever. And that ends up playing out. So it builds up. So your magic may not manifest right away, especially if you're just starting. If you're doing my techniques and if you're just starting, well, it might take 3 weeks, it might take 3 months. God forbid, it might take 3 years. But if you start every day now, if you can afford to get a $4 pack, of 12 candles at the dollar store, like I said, well, that's almost 2 weeks worth. So, You buy a $4 pack, and one of those maybe two of those candles you break in half. So this way you have enough for the whole 2-week period. If you get paid every 2 weeks, it's $4. You buy that. You can get a pack of incense at the dollar store too for, well, I think it's $2. And that gives you, I think there's 8 times 5 incense sticks in there. So that's way more than the 2 weeks. So your incense, you only have to probably buy once a month. If you do 1 incense a day and 1 candle a day, you're looking at $8. You're looking at about $10 to do this technique. But if you don't have that and you have wax lying around the house and you need to manifest money to start this, well then, this is what you do, is you do what I'm about to show you. But what I'm saying is, every day now with those candles, you can ask for something. You can ask for money. You can ask for whatever the case is, a way to make money faster, a way to receive money faster, because sometimes you need to open up the doorways to receive money. Instead of just asking for money, say, hey, I want to banish anything blocking my way to earning large quantities, amounts of financial currency, monetary, promissory notes, however you want to word it, debit, fucking cash, credit, whatever. And I invoke and I accept that I am a lucky person. I am a lucky human being who receives money regularly, frequently, whatever. You know what I'm trying to get at. And you start doing that every day. And then, maybe after a week, maybe after 2 weeks, maybe do the 2 week, maybe do 3 weeks, 21 days to develop a new habit. This way you're doing candle magic, you're doing sigil magic, you're also doing affirmations, you're starting a ritual with magic, you're doing all these things all at once. You top that off with going to sleep with a recorder on, you're going to change your life in a month. But point is, you're stacking this. So then by the time you stop doing that and you work on a different aspect, well, you're taking your mind off the whole money thing and you're working on something else. And then when that one stops, you work on something else. And then all of a sudden the money's going to come in. And then the next thing you went is going to come in. So everything is just going to start coming in. Things take waiting periods. But then you're always going to have something coming in useful, And by the time you actually need something, like say something happens and you need something, well, you do a couple candles for that. But then, in the meantime, everything else you asked for is still coming in. It's like your back pay. You're waiting for it, But if you're going to wait for magic but not keep doing different magics at the same time, that's why I say 1 candle a day. You offer to the god, you give it to him as compensation for what you're asking for, but that's what you say, well, thank you, Saturn, for giving me all the wisdom and fixing my marriage and helping me find balance between me and my wife and my kids, and allowing me to receive all the financial freedom and financial security I need to live a prosperous, healthy life. And I have nothing but respect and honor for you. And I am so grateful that out of compensation for what I've received, I'm giving you this incense and this candle, and you have my gratitude and love. You know what I mean? You do that every fucking day, bud, and Saturn's gonna fucking hook you up. It's gonna hook you up. It's gonna love it. So I just wanted to add this little PSA. I just wanted to add this little note to what I'm about to show, because, doing little pieces of candles is not exactly, what they want necessarily. At least a whole incense and a whole candle. It's like, okay, well, this guy's just not a cheap bastard giving me a little thing. So what I'm teaching is how to do something and get it into your subconscious mind. But in the same sense, and there are these things, these energies in our bodies, these planets are these forces that control mankind. And then they don't necessarily mean Satan doesn't necessarily is Saturn or the Kronos, the Grim Reaper, or the Father of Time. It's not necessarily some being somewhere pulling the strings on all these people. Like, okay, all these people, they figured out the secret. I can't fuck with them anymore, but they give me stuff, so I don't fuck with them anymore. But all these fuckers down here believing in God and Satan and oppressing people, no, I'm gonna fuck with them. It's not really like that. But these things do control you, and if you show your mind symbolically that you are giving it something, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's, it doesn't really matter, but you sacrifice something of yours to this power, this higher power, this entity or energy, this energetic entity, whatever it is, it shows your mind that, you're taking care of something. You're giving a sign. It's just like, when you have to remove a curse, you have to show your mind you're doing something, and that you believe that this something will remove that, and it's gone. Just like removing a disease. If you get in your mind that the thing you're doing, this cure, removes this disease, it will infallibly remove it when it really knows it's just itself doing it. But it just needs that reason to do it. It's like your cells know what to do, but if you don't tell it what to do in the proper way or get it through to your subconscious correctly, then it's just not going to do it. It's waiting for you to, you know, the soldiers of the army know how to go and infiltrate and start war and all that, but they still have to wait for the command. You know what I mean? The doctor knows how to do the procedure on the person, and he knows that person needs that procedure, but without that person's okay, you can't do it. So you have to give the okay, and I guess is what I'm trying to say. So once you give that okay, you show your mind that, you know, no, I'm ready to fucking learn. Well, you start giving a candle a day to get wisdom from Venus, from Mercury, from Mars, from Saturn, from the sun, because they can all teach you something. Well, then you're going to start getting wisdom every day. You know what I mean? And to me, when you have wisdom, you can get money, because, you know, the more intelligent you are, the better you can play sports. The more intelligent you are, the better you can make money. The more intelligent you are, the better you can raise your kids. So intelligence is one of those things that, you know, whenever your intelligence turns to wisdom, the difference between intelligence and wisdom is intelligence put into action. So if you're sitting there just being an armchair occultist, learning all this shit and then talking about it but never actually doing it, well, then you have a lot of information, and you might be even intelligent on the subject and know all the literature, so you can tell people what other people have done. But when it comes to you, you haven't done a fucking thing, so you don't actually have the wisdom yet. You just have the information, and from there you're an intelligent person, so you put it together in a way that people can understand, and that's great. But you put wisdom into there, you put that intelligence into action, and you add wisdom to it, and you're gonna blow people's minds, and you're gonna blow your own fucking mind. So anyways, start doing a candle a day if you can afford it. And, you know, if you want to turn that 12 pack or that 15 pack into fucking double, you know, you break the candles in halves, and that's the importance of putting sigils. But instead of, see, I just write a big statement on the candle, and that works for me. I don't even have to do sigils anymore. But someone who can't afford to do a candle a day, because like I got stock up there, right? And I just go into my stock, grab a candle, candles start getting low. I tell my wife next time she goes to the dog store, she picks it up. Michael's is different, we got to do the drive-by thing, but order my candles, pay online, drive by, go pick up my candles. I always get a weird look too when I get all those black candles and I got the pentagram on showing. I normally hide it. I take it out for you guys, just so you guys know I'm a witch, but magical practitioner, but you know, so you're safe. But anyways, point of all this is if you can afford to do a candle a day, do a candle a day. If you can't, start doing this. But this should, when I'm showing you how to do a little piece of wax and put your sigil on it, this is to get something into your mind, and it's a symbolic representation. And really, you're putting more time than money into this. But by breaking your candle in half and having to do the time to break down the sigil and take all the vowels out, double consonants, you're going to take a lot more time to do one candle. But all that does is it's more time for your mind to be consciously focused on it, and then, you know, it's going to impress on your subconscious better the more time it takes to put into it, as long as you can forget it after. So, or you can spend more money and less time just, you know, write on your candle. You can do both. It doesn't matter. Figure out which way works for you. These are the ways I've done it, and I give you all the people that I've learned it from, so that you can take my information, their information, and all the books, and then come up with your own little fashion way. You want to call it ceremonial witchcraft? Great. But you want to call it something completely different? That's cool too. Do you, and I'm going to do me. And we can someday all be free. Ha 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 ha. All right. That's stupid. Anyways, that's about it for this. And then the next thing you're going to see is going to be the little wax and all that other shit. And I keep promising, and I keep doing other things. But anyways, I'm going to scratch these two fucking things and see what happens. All right. Have a good one, everybody.